Well, good evening. Or is it boys and girls on the YouTube? Professor Fatpants? Ludwig von Fatpants? Hi guys. How you doing? Thought I'd do a little quick update on Mr. Pete from what Lauren told us. He went through his leg surgery today, and I guess the doctor said everything went well, and the poor kid's gonna be, I guess, like he can't even move it for 2 weeks, can't bend it at all, and then I guess he'll work on that a little bit, and then 6 weeks he goes into the next stage of that therapy, whatever that be, ligaments and stuff, I guess, get torn. I don't know. I'm not going to go into great detail because that's their business, but just a little update. I guess he's been doing all right, resting. He's had a few visitors, which everybody appreciates it. We don't bombard him. I haven't been back out to see him. I was gonna go Sunday, and then Lauren asked us just maybe to wait a little bit. I think I said that because they were gonna move him out of an ICU unit into a regular recovery room or regular room. And excuse me, I've got the boogie woogies. Not terrible, but anyway, I didn't. We didn't go see him then because Mammy was still had the crud. I don't know what it is. It's not. I don't know if it's some form of COVID. Probably. I don't know. Whatever. It's just a head cold. But I've got it. I got it. I don't have it bad. Mine just got like behind my nose and my sinuses and just draining and just awful. I'm gonna hawk up a big old loogie in the morning and it's like, oh God. So I got something going on now. I don't know if it's similar to hers. Who knows? There's everything floating around everywhere. 352 million variants of COVID, thanks to Chinese, But anyway, like I said, I haven't been feeling top shape. So we were going to go see him Sunday. We backed off. They never did end up moving him because, how that works. But they ended up moving him, I think, Wednesday to his own to a room or whatever, and anyway, I still held off because I don't know what I got. I don't know if it's contagious or, like I said, it's not bad. It's just a naggy hacking cough, and Lori got it. Mammy got it pretty bad. She got aches and pains with it, and she was pretty much bedding it for a day, and it hasn't got me down. I think it's getting better. It was worse a couple days ago. But anyway, I don't want to go out there and spread that to them. They don't need that crap. So I'm just going to wait, maybe over the weekend, pop up, see him. I'd love to see him, but again, I don't want to bring him some crud. So anyway, I had something really interesting the other night. Stevie Billow called me the other afternoon. We were working in here because the weather's been so foul. And Stevie, bless his little heart, he said that he would like to donate the 395 monster saw that he built. And I know he's got a few grand in that thing because it's a hot rod. And he said he was going to donate that, raffle it for Pete. Wasn't that nice? I thought, boy, what a good guy. So anyway, I don't know. I think him and Tater are kind of getting along a little better, I guess, I hope. I think they were getting along pretty good anyway, but, with the dust up, I don't know if it was even a dust up with them as much as it was the YouTube dust up, He said maybe he would talk to Wade and see if he could do a little interview and explain the saw. It was a saw that he had on Axemen, and it was on TV, so that's pretty cool. If any of you guys like collecting trinkets like that, but it runs like a monster, and he never uses it. He's driving truck. He's got a real nice job driving truck and stuff. So, I'm not going to use it. It's got sentimental value to him, but he said, oh, right now I could, maybe help Pete with that. Wasn't that nice? I mean, I thought that was wonderful. So if anybody, wants to drop Stevie a line. So I'll keep you updated what I know. Like I said, I'm not going to go into great detail because I'm sure he's going to fill everybody in when he can. And, you know, I don't want to stick my nose where it doesn't belong. But I'm just, you know, just worried about my buddy. I can't wait to see him. And I called Lauren last night. And he had a couple of visitors, so I was just going to talk to him on the phone, kind of explain why I haven't been out, and, you know, but he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. He knows." And he had a couple of visitors. I think Nate Baird was out and whatever. So I went to bed early anyway. So so anyway, today my pilot pump went out on my 608. What it did it last summer actually, and it chewed the little gears in the auxiliary drive on that little 6BTA 59 Cummins. They have a spline gear. I can show it to you. I got it over here, and the little spline gear that drives the pump got boogered, and it chewed the end of the pump spline. And anyway, that's the little spool gear there, and it's pressed into the roller gear, a roller bearing, and then the auxiliary drive presses together, and the gear that drives the pump, you know, that's in the timing chain, the timing cover, the gear chain and the timing cover. So that all presses together. So anyway, what I did last summer is I took it out and we bored the center of this, milled the center out. My buddy Slimek, and I had a little spool. It was like a 5/8 to 9 spline connector, and I found it. I just found it. I was, ooh. So we bored that out and pressed the connector in, and it would have worked probably for a long time. But what happened is I had to cut the shaft back, you know, because it was boogered to get back into spline. So I only had maybe, you know, I don't even know, 1/4 of an inch or something in it driving it. So I knew it was going to be an issue again. And it did the same thing. It just finally chewed itself out, you know. So anyway, I was clever enough to, before I scrapped that burnt Timco, because it had a 6BTA and it was 59 Cummins. So I swiped the coupler, the auxiliary drive, off of it. Now it had been through a fire, so it ruined the pump. I couldn't use the pump, but I was able to swipe this, and this is the auxiliary drive. You know, when it's together, the gear would be facing you right there, and that goes in the timing, you know, the timing cover with this gear like such. See if I can do this without dropping this phone or this tablet. You know, it goes like that, and it's pressed together. And anyway, and then this roller bearing goes over the shaft. Is this thing still running? I don't know what I did. I touched something. Hang on a minute. God, I hate this thing. I have no idea how to get rid of this. Alright, I'm back. I don't know. When I leaned it forward, my thumb touched something on this ridiculous piece of junk and it shut off. But anyway, so the roller bearing goes in here. Now this roller bearing was in the heat, so it was junk. I pressed it out. But I was able to save this little gear. Now it's not that much. I think it's only $55 for the proper gear, but I had one. So I pressed that all back together, rebuilt the auxiliary drive, put the good bearing in it. Okay, so I ended up getting a pump from Slimek over here. It was only $200. Can't beat that. But we're a little confused about the direction. So lo and behold, I get the pump. I had it overnighted. The pump cost $200 and the overnight freight cost $130. But to get going and cut some timber, so we could perhaps eat. I got the pump, and it was a little different configuration, so I made some fittings, and I actually put a ball valve on the supply, so you don't, when you pull a 1-inch suction line off your pump, you don't lose 60 gallons of hydraulic oil. So I did a nice job. We did a nice job. We put a ball valve on it, blah, blah. Put the thing back together this morning, nothing. I'm like, oh crap, it's turning the wrong direction. So we had to take it off a couple times, monkeying with it, but I pulled the pump housing apart. We flipped the two glands at the back 180 degrees, and I turned the pump housing around so the suction side, the reservoir side was on the suction side, and it worked. So that was good. So excuse me. Wow. So I just got that running. Revved the engine up. Now, I mean, it had been idling for a minute. It wasn't like stone cold. But I just started revving the engine up, you know. And I says, Jess, check, you know. He said, I'll check for leaks. And, all right, make sure everything's tight and right, and then we'll button things up and get to work. So anyway, he starts flailing his hands. Shut it off! You got a massive leak. I'm like, oh, shit. What happened? You know, I thought maybe turning that pump around or something blew the guts out of it, or there's not much to it. It didn't anyway. But you know what ended up happening? And I've got an oil leak on this motor, and it's terrible because it doesn't use a lot of oil, but you know, it might use a quart a day or something, and it's not burning it. The motor runs beautiful, but it's just leaking. And the fan picks it up and blows it all over the place. It's a filthy mess. And you know, I should have pressure washed it, but because they had to steal my pressure washer last summer, and I have another one, but I haven't. I just need to go get another pressure washer. But so anyway, I was actually going to do that. Go get a new pressure washer here in the next week or two, and take a barrel of water down and at least wash it, and put some detergent on it and degrease it, because it's got a bunch of gunk on it, dust and oil. Well, what happened? He's like, wait, it's motor oil. I said, you got to be kidding me. Did we push something or break something? And on these motors, this is another one just like it. On these motors, I don't know if you can see this. This is that junkyard motor, but it runs good though. Anyway, there's an oil galley here coming out to the oil switch, you know. And we were working right here putting the pump on. That's where your injector pump, sits here, and the hydraulic pump, the pilot pressure pump, sits here. So I was wondering, geez, did we break this off or something? You know, you see this one's got another brass plug in this oil galley. I'm assuming maybe they had a regular gauge coming off of this. I don't know what this was all about, but you know, so I thought maybe we broke something and it was puking motor oil. Well, no. These things have what they call a push rod tappet cover on these engines. Okay, and you'll see there's 6 bolts that go across here. This is a breather tube, and there's a cover, and you can see there's a little gasket right there. You can see that. Well, right here, because Jess said, I think it's a head. I said, that's too low for the head. Right here, it blew a big chunk of this gasket out. I think the thing had been leaking there, and it was just all brittle and dry rot, and it finally puked it out. It was, you know, hanging out of there like an eighth of an inch, and the oil was just flowing down that block. So now it's going to get really cold, and we should be logging. No, fate had a different plan. Now we're going to have to take this cover off and put a new gasket in it, but I'm buying a new cover. Slimmick told me, John, my buddy John Slimmick Machine, he said, you better get a new cover, because what happens when you torque these down, they push in and dent, and they recommend that you either push these back out or get a new cover every time you change this, because they won't seat properly and they'll leak. So the cover's only $100. He's got one. The gasket's like 15. So, and then each one of these has like a rubber grommet gasket behind it. So that's my next project. Go down there. We're gonna build a big barn fire, I guess, so we can jump off the machine and get warm. And I guess Monday we're gonna go down and take the parts down and try and fix that, so I can maybe do a little logging. I mean, it'd be nice, but and it's nasty out tonight right now. It's supposed to start getting cold tomorrow, like by 8 a.m. It's getting colder. It was like 43 when I came through Punxsutawney on the way home on the bank thermometer, and it's probably, I don't know. I just went outside to get the tablet, and I went to my pickup. It might be like 32 or 34, but by morning it's supposed to like snow, mixed rain, but that's what it's doing now, like sleet and rain, and then it's gonna supposedly turn to all snow and snow all night and la-di-da. And then by 8 in the morning it's supposed to be down like 25 degrees, not below, 25 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill and all that fun crap. So, oh boy. So I thought, well, maybe I ought to run over to Hobo Freight or something, and they got a nice little pressure washer for like $300. Maybe I ought to go grab one. And Jesse's like, man, if you go to pressure wash that thing tomorrow with it freezing, you're going to turn it into a big fat icicle. So I think I'm just going to wait. If I have to, we'll just get really dirty. It's filthy to work on because it's all soot. I mean, it needs washed. But, so that's going to be a joy. I'm going to be down in the brush doing that. Build a fire so we can crawl down the ladder and hover around that. I might take my little, like one of the little propane buddy heaters and stick it up under the hood somewhere and put a tarp over it so it'll be warm in the engine house. But we got to move a lot of stuff. You know, hopefully I'll have to take the injector pump off. I was practicing with this one, see if I could reach up behind it with a wrench, and I can. And the bolts are only like, you know, an inch long or something, 20 millimeter or something. So, wish us luck. So that's going to be fun. And in the meantime, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful limousine of a truck here, old green weenie, my transfer case came loose in it. I don't know when the guys put it in, Jess said he looks like they put the studs in backwards. So the short end, you know, the two-sided threaded stud has like that ball in the middle, you know, like a shank. Well, apparently they ran the short end of the shank into the transfer case and the long end through the adapter, and the bolts were only in like halfway. That's the way he found it. So it came loose, and I don't know how I didn't hear it. That truck went down the road 80 mile an hour, and I can't believe how good it runs with the miles it's got on it. But here's my adapter. It busted that. See how it broke them chunks out of it? But that was $85. It's not a big deal. I mean, it sucks. But we have the transfer case out of it. But Jesse cleaned up all the holes and took a tap and tapped out all the holes. You know, just cleaned them up and Loctited them. So yeah, they had the short end in here, and the you know, these things go clear back to here, and they only had, you know, like that much of it. I don't know, whatever. These guys that worked in here did some goofy shit, but whatever. So I got the adapter coming. I got to put a new end seal, tail seal on that. So while I was in here, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna rip the front end off it because I've bashed a ton of deer with this thing, and that old guard that I got out of the junkyard, it bashed and bent and bit. So my buddy's grandson, Wes's grandson, bought that truck from me, and he's fixing it up. And he put a brand new Western thing on it there. And I said, what are you doing with the old one? He said, I don't know, I'll give it to you if you let me use the garage. So he gave me this, which was on that. So just contoured it nicely to the Chevy. And I've got to build, I'm doing that right now. I'm putzing around. I'm going to go home pretty soon because it's almost 6. But I built a new bracket for it so it'll adapt on there. I'm gonna weld that up, stick it on there, and then I can bolt it back to the flanges. And so that'll be good. I don't think I gotta worry about deer anymore. I'm not even gonna slow down for them some bitches. I'm just gonna gas it. You know, cow catcher them right out of the way. But that's a pretty stout unit. So I'm gonna do that. I ordered a new set of all of the lights are all busted. I had them all wired in so I could see, because I smoked that deer, I don't know, probably 3 weeks or a month ago. Man, I hit it hard, and it pushed that little guard back in, dented the hood I put on it, and it busted all of these. See all these, well, I don't know, I guess they call them a headlight bucket or bracket. So I got two of them coming, 2 new headlights, 2 new parking lights. It was like $170. I didn't think that was too bad. And then I next door at the scrapyard, I'm gonna run over there in the morning. There's another one of these. The one I got the door and the hood off. I asked Adam over there. He says, "Yeah, come get the grill. Don't worry about it. Just take it." So that was nice of him. I offered to pay. He said, "Nah, just grab it." So they're good guys. And last year we had an ice storm and it knocked a bunch of trees down across the road, and they couldn't. I mean, it was scrap time, you know, and people are backing up traffic. I went over there in a hurry, and chopped it all up for them, and they brought the high lift out, and pushed it, opened the roads. And I mean, I was over there for an hour and a half, and they were so grateful. Oh, you did that tree work for us. You just go ahead and get it. So that was nice of them. But anyway, so I'm gonna get the grill, and I'll probably just paint the grill matte black or something. I think it's one of these type gray things anyway. It's just a work truck deal. So then I'll put my new lights in it. Hopefully I'll run it another 320,000 miles. Well, I just put tires on it. That has been a good truck though. It's been one of the best trucks I've ever owned. I paid $5,500 for that truck 7 years ago. Cheap transportation. I did put a transmission in it, but as far as I know, when I bought it, somebody had changed the engine at like 180,000, I guess, supposedly. I don't know. I bought it, it had right around 2 on it, but the motor runs excellent. It likes gasoline, but what are you gonna do? But it's been a good truck, so I'm just gonna keep on running her. So, alright, I suppose I've run my mouth enough, but hey, thanks for all the new subs, and welcome aboard, and welcome to my mad little world. If nothing else, maybe you get a laugh out of it. Watch an old man flailing around trying to make a living. So, alright, I'm gonna go home, get some din-din, and try and splice these 2 videos together so you see one. And probably go to bed early, get some rest. I got a visitor coming in tonight, or a couple of visitors. Josh is going to put an attachment on out in, I don't know, right up in New York State somewhere, I think. And him and his buddy Jared, J.A. Rod, we call him, they hunt with us. They're going to stay at the house tonight, tomorrow night, and if I get a chance, I might like to take a ride up with them, you know. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might do that just because I don't get to see them guys too often. But if I do, maybe I'll make a vid. So I got another little surprise, perhaps. Resurrecting Kimmy. I'll keep you posted. All right, ta-ta, y'all. Thanks for your patience with me and my electronic wizardry. All right, I'll let you guys go. Have a wonderful evening. Keep old Pete in your prayers. Everything heals up good. Get some rest. He needs his rest. And hopefully I'll get over my booger world and go out and see him. And I'll tell you about my visit a little bit. All right, thanks guys. Love y'all. Ta-ta.